Heyo everybody, Haku here with a video that I've been thinking about doing for some time. So something I did last year at the end of the year, well, kind of technically beginning of the year, but you know what I mean. I did a 2017 anime awards video where I did awards for things like my favorite episode or my favorite show of the season, of course. That way I could talk about all the shows I liked and then name the one I thought was best from the year. So I'm going to do that, I think, again next week. But that's going to take a bit of studying up on some of the things I've watched throughout the year. So I'll do like 7 awards or something like that, is I think the number I did last year. And we'll see what we have for this year's Haku Anime Awards. But before I do that, and to kind of hold over until then, I wanted to do this weekend. Since I did watch a lot of anime for fall 2018, I wanted to discuss what I've seen. So we have 23 here that I watched. Out of the 23, I think I made it fully through 7 by now. I'm not finished, like partially through a lot more. And then there are a few that I only watched a few episodes of. So I'm going to give you my main thoughts on them as sort of a suggestion type thing if you want to check any of them out and marathon them, or if you just want to know my basic thoughts on them. I'm going to just give basic spoiler-free thoughts here, but this also serves as an outlet where I want to do some full anime series reviews like I've done in the past, even sort of recently, whenever I get time. So this is a good way where you hear my basic thoughts here, and if you want me to do a full review, like a series review on any of these that's more in depth, tell me, and when I get time I'll know exactly which ones to do the series reviews on. So I'm going to bring up the chart so that way you can actually see what I'm talking about as I'm talking about it going through it. So Double Decker, Doug and Kirill, I've made it a few episodes into. I really liked it. I feel like it's very underrated. I haven't heard many people say anything at all about it. I've heard just a little bit of negativity, but mostly just meh coming from it. But from what I watched so far, I really liked it. I thought it was creative and different. And so I'm not really sure what to compare it to. The animation's interesting. I'm not sure what to compare it to say, oh, if you like this, you'll like that. Maybe the closest thing it reminds me of is Garo Vanishing Line. So if you liked Garo Vanishing Line, maybe check it out. That's the closest thing I can think of that it reminds me of. But I've liked the few episodes I've seen so far, and I definitely want to finish it up. Akane sa Shoujo, another one that I want to finish up. I've only watched a couple episodes. I will say it's meh. It's not very great. But yeah, it's just kind of... It's kind of Battle Girl-ish, kind of mystery-ish. So yeah, my thoughts on it are as simple as it's a meh show. Tensei Shitara Slimed Out Again, I'm reviewing it week to week, so you can see my thoughts there. But if you're not watching it and want a recommendation, it is your typical guy gets killed and is reincarnated into a fantasy world show. Except for... it tells a very unique story, where most of those kinds of shows, oh, he gets a harem, goes on some sort of adventure. With this, he's a slime building up this community around him, and he doesn't have some harem, there's not fan service everywhere, but instead he's made a lot of really good friends, and there's a lot of really good character development. So it tells your typical isekai story in a way that I've never seen it told before. It's very creative and new and different. We've got Jingai-san Niyome, which was just this weird short form about a guy marrying this big fuzzy creature. I've made it like halfway through, and it's weird, and that's kind of why I'm watching it, is just because it's weird. So if you want to see a weird thing that's only like 3 minutes an episode, then it's for you. Kazigatsu Yoka Fuiteru, I've heard really great things about it, of course, but also it was... the few episodes I've seen are really enjoyable. It's something I definitely want to continue. It's a very high quality production-wise from everything I've seen. Of course, it is by Production IG. Then Sora to Umi no Aida. Again, I've seen a few episodes. My thoughts on Sora to Umi no Aida is that it did not know what it wanted to be. Not at all. I think it would have been a good show if it was just about them doing normal-ass diving stuff. Just cute girls doing cute things. But it also tries to be this battle girl thing, and there's like mechs and also like summoning gods and goddesses and stuff, and it's like they take this thing and they throw in another genre and throw in another genre and throw in another genre, but they take it seriously. They don't kind of joke about the own nonsense of what the show is itself. So I feel like the show suffers, and the reason the show isn't really good is because the show doesn't know what it is, really. So, yeah, Soritomo no Aida, it's fun if you just want to watch through it, I guess, but not very good. Reride D, Tokugoi no Derera, I only had time to watch the first episode, but it's an original, and it's by this new studio that I don't think has made any other anime. But from the first episode, I really liked it. You could tell it was the studio's first anime. You could tell there were some kinks and some problems they needed to work out, but I thought it had a lot of potential, so I do want to go back and read the rest of it. Zombieland Saga, probably, either that or Yagata Kimi ni Naru, actually. Zombieland Saga I watched all of, probably one of the best anime of the season. I reviewed every episode. I thought it was great. It's an idol anime. It's a comedy and very, very good at comedy, and it has cute zombie girls. So, yeah, I would totally recommend it. Even if you don't think you would like it, you might. It's one of those kinds of shows. But I really, really enjoyed it. It's probably one of my favorites from the season for sure, maybe even from the year. And I would have said it was probably the best if I hadn't just finished Higate Kimi ni Naru, which is amazing, but we'll get to it. Tonari no Kyuuketsuki-san was a big surprise for me. I watched it because I like these cute, comfy comedies. I thought it was really funny. I like things with monster girls, and vampires kind of fall under that. But it was surprisingly great. I really, really, really enjoyed and loved watching it week to week. Then Yagate Kimi ni Naru, probably the best story I saw all year, and when I do the award show, it's a top contender for anime of the year. Yagate Kimi ni Naru had so many small things, like body language especially, with just showing how the character's hands or faces moved when receiving certain information or when in certain scenes. The body language was so well done, and every single scene, every single episode, like draws you in because every little motion and word is really, really important. So I loved the story they told, and I think it's between this, I think it's probably going to be between Yagate Kimi ni Naru and A Place Further Than the Universe. Those two are probably like two top contenders for anime of the year. Towaru Mijutsu no Index 3, if you've watched previous seasons, you're going to love it. If not, you're probably going to be confused, so you should probably watch the previous seasons. It's one of my favorite franchises, if not my favorite franchise. And I think it's very good, but one negative I would have is that it feels like they're rushing this season a little bit to get through the light novel content. So that's one negative I'd bring up. Uchi no Maid ga Uza Sugiru. I'd actually love to do a video, and this show would be kind of heavily involved in it, about how shows can do kind of lolly fan service right or wrong, how it can be creepy or not creepy. Uchi no Maid ga Uza Sugiru borders on creepy a lot of the time, but it still tells a very, very good story when it comes to things like survivor's guilt and losing a loved one and grief. It tells a very good story of that, and I think its finale is probably one of my favorite anime episodes of the entire year. So it was actually really well done. But I think it would be interesting to talk about how some shows can do kind of the lolly thing and lolly fan service really poorly and in a really creepy manner, like, say, Ryuo no Oshigoto, but then some stories can do it in a really, really kind of, I don't want to say wholesome, but in a good manner where nothing feels creepy and the show is actually very good and very well told, where I guess Uchi no Maid ga Uza Sugiru is a bit on the border, but it's more toward the good side, definitely. But a really good example of it being done really well and good is Tenchi no 3P, which I thought was an amazing show. Kishiku Gakko no Juliet, I want to watch it, but I haven't had time yet. Iruzuku Sekai no Ashita Kara, I still want to watch it. I watched the first episode and dropped it after that because I thought it was a bit generic, especially compared to how enthralling and good Yigase Kimi ni Naru was. This show had amazing production quality, but I felt like the story was more generic. I do want to give it another chance, though. Radiant, I personally like a whole hell of a lot. Now, I know a lot of people complain whenever there's like one of these shonen type shows, but I personally liked Radiant a lot. I like the shonen genre where it's just a battle shonen, you know? I don't know. I just like those kinds of shows. Action adventures, it's my personal thing. SSSS Gridman, I've seen nothing but great things about it. I've watched like 4 episodes in, I think is where I am. And I'm kind of torn on it. I think that it's really weird because it's by Trigger, and Trigger is known for making amazing mecha fights and just these beautiful looking, well animated mecha fights. Well, the thing with SSSS Gridman is that it is like the opposite of that. It's like every scene with the kids around school and developing their characters looks beautiful. The camera angles, the animation, it's all amazing. And then we get the robot fights, and the robot fights are kind of poor CG. The robot fights don't look good. And even in the first episode, it looked bad in my opinion. So it's weird that Trigger, who is known for amazing looking mecha fights, has a show where everything looks amazing except the mecha fights. The mecha fights look bad. Release the Spice, typical Battle Girl stuff. I liked it a lot personally, but typical Battle Girl stuff. I haven't finished it yet. I need to finish it. Anime Yell I finished. Another big surprise for the season. It's a cute girls doing cute things show, and the cute thing in this one is cheerleading. I loved it. I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did. The main character, Kohane, is like the best. Is like totally like, I empathize with the character so much and connect with the character so much. I loved Anime Yell. I thought it was so funny, so refreshing and just nice to watch. I loved it a lot. Gaikotsu Shotenin Honda-san, didn't finish it. It really feels like something you would see on like Adult Swim or something. It's good, it's funny. For me, with the type of animation and the weirdness of the character designs, it feels like it'd be one of those shows that was just random weird stuff, comedy all the time, really high energy, but at times I find it can be a little bit slow or boring, and that's kind of weird for a 12-minute episode show. But yeah, it's funny, it's good, but not as funny or good as I kind of think it could be. Himote House, I dropped after the first episode because, oh my god, that animation. But then I heard people saying, people didn't give it a chance based on the animation, and it turned out to be pretty good. So I'm going to go back and give it a second try. Golden Kamuy second season I haven't gotten to, but I want to because I really like the first season. Same with Karakuri Circus and Hangyakse Million Arthur. Both look really good. I've heard great things about both, but I haven't had time to watch either. Sorry that I ran through these really, really quickly. But I didn't have much time to record this. I just wanted to do it at some point, so I was like, I gotta do it. I gotta make it today. So yeah, sorry about that, but I hope you liked the video. Still going quick here, but like if you did like the video. Comment down there to tell me what you thought about any of these. Like I said, if you have suggestions for things for me to do full series reviews on, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, so anything like that. Tell me what you thought of any of these, all that. Subscribe for more of anime, much more on the channel. Like I said, award show, which will be much more developed than this since I'm taking notes and everything, will probably be a week from now, I would think. Subscribe, follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel or talk to you there. If you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us there, then just ask and I'll give you a link. It's free and open for anyone. But that's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.